Mightyreacts, back with the reacts. On today's video, we are reacting to he pulled the biggest robbery in US history. Whew. When I saw this title, I said I need to react to this video. So yeah, this video is by Ray William. So enough for talking, let's react.
So this guy's about to steal $18 million, and he just might get away with it. Now the guy's name is Alan, and Alan, he's around 28 years old when this story starts, living in Los Angeles, and bro works at an armored depot. So he's surrounded by cash all day, moving in and out of the building. Here's the thing about Alan working around all this cash. He's the kind of guy who really wants to be rich. So it's only a matter of time before...
Bro, tell the truth, if you're working with money, wouldn't you want some of the money? Of course, you need to work for it, but like, bro, you're every day working with millions of dollars. You're gonna be like, bro, someday, what if I take 1 million? Nobody's gonna notice. Like, whew.
Before he wants to take some of this cash. And that is exactly what happens. One day in 1997, he comes up with an idea. Why not just rob his employer? And so he gets to work on this plan. He starts doing reconnaissance. He's like studying the building's floor plans. He's getting familiar with all the security camera locations. He's figuring out how to get into the vault. He even allegedly brings a camera to work and starts taking pictures, pretending like, oh, I'm just like taking some photos of my work colleagues, when in reality, he's taking pictures of the layout.
My bro is really planning this robbery really good.
But all that recon is not enough to pull off a heist this big. Alan knows that he can't do this alone, so he recruits 5 of his friends to go along with him. And this operation is so ragtag, so low budget, he literally meets up with these 5 friends in a parking lot and he draws a diagram of the whole facility on the pavement using street chalk. Like, you guys enter through this door and I'll enter through this door. It's crazy. But whatever. Now the plan is all coming together, and they set an official date that this is all gonna go down. In the meantime, Alan is still working at this job at the armored depot, and he's getting up and he's going to work every day and he's just acting normal, trying not to make anyone suspicious. But as the date gets closer,
of course, you need to make it look
to heist day, something unexpected happens. One day, boom, he gets fired. Allegedly, he was playing a prank on his coworker and like messing with some of his work vehicle or something. I'm not really sure if that's true. Regardless, he gets fired. Now, this screws his whole robbery plan all up.
Back to the drawing board. He was planning his plan and then he got fired. Ooh.
Part of his plan was to use his set of company keys to get through some of the doors of the building. But now that he's fired, he's expected to turn those keys in right away. So how's he gonna get into the building now? Well, bro is not gonna give up quite yet. He's still determined to rob this place and to get rich. So he comes up with a slightly different plan. Instead of turning those company keys in right away, he hangs on to them for an extra day or so, and he moves the date of the robbery forward. He's like, guys, we need to pull off this heist tomorrow. And so tomorrow comes, and he and his crew, they get together. And I gotta say, for just a gang of regular dudes, they've actually got all this planned out pretty well. I mean, keep in mind that none of them have ever been in trouble with the law before. Like, this heist is actually their first attempt at crime.
Look what the money does to people. Hey, you can be a good people all your life, but if you need the money and that is the only way you can get the money, you gotta do it.
And so anyway, first, they go to a big house party in Long Beach. And they're there and they're hanging out, they're talking to people, socializing. They're trying to make sure people see them there because they're trying to establish an alibi. And after they're there for a few hours, they slip away from the party one by one. And they all put on black clothes and ski masks, and they grab their weapons, and they all get into a U-Haul truck that they had.
Hey, so far the plan
Then
looking
they head
good.
over to the armored depot. Once they get there, Alan uses his key to get into the building. Now, I told you they got all this planned out pretty well. Alan actually made sure to time all this so that they would be breaking into the place around the same time all the employees there are taking a meal break, so that all the workers are in the cafeteria at the same time. That way they won't have to hunt them all down one by one. And so this is where shit really goes down. Because then, boom, Alan and his goons bust into the cafeteria and they're like,
Oh
this
shit.
is a robbery! Nobody fucking move! And they get all of the employees to lie down on the floor and they duct tape their hands and their feet. Then Alan finds the supervisor and he takes that supervisor's set of keys, which open the main vault. So then he goes and he opens the vault and he and the goons, they start taking the cash out and they load it into the U-Haul. These guys fill this truck with $18.9 million worth of cash, which in today's dollars, it's about $38 million.
Damn, bro.
Once they're done, just to be cautious, they smash all the security cameras and they steal the tapes that have the evidence recorded on them. Then they all get in the U-Haul and they leave. These guys got the whole heist done in about 30 minutes, that's not bad for a bunch of amateurs.
That's
However,
impressive.
they're not quite done yet, because then they go back to an apartment, they change back into their normal non-robbery clothes, and they go back to that big house party where they were at earlier, and they start hanging out to make it look like, yo, we never left. Which is actually pretty smart, to solidify their alibi.
Actually, it does.
Meanwhile, the employees back at the armored depot, they're eventually able to free themselves and call the police. And so police come and they investigate. And after looking it all over, they're pretty sure this was an inside job. It was
Of
just
course.
too sophisticated.
Of course, bro. Anybody will know it's an inside job because, first of all, they have the key and everything, so it's obvious. But who did it?
And the robbers were way too
But
knowledgeable
who
of
was
the
it?
layout of this place for it not to be an employee or a former employee. Not only that, one of the employees who was tied up during the robbery, he apparently recognized Alan's voice and he suspects that he might be involved. So now police are looking into
And that is also where he maybe made a mistake. Your ex-colleague know your voice and they know your build, your form of build, so they will notice you and they will notice your voice. So I don't know if he fucked up right there, but let's see.
Alan. And they start monitoring him to see if he or any of his friends start flashing money around like an idiot. But here's the thing. Alan and his goons don't flash a bunch of money around. They barely spend any of it right away. Instead, they just wait. They wait for it all to blow over. And 6 months go by. And now they
Nice.
finally feel like it's safe to start spending and laundering the $18.9 million they got. And some of them are buying homes at foreclosures and then renting them out. They're buying cars, but used cars, and they're buying them with cash. They even set up fake companies to run the money through. I'm telling you, for a bunch of amateurs, these guys are actually pretty smart. And it looks like they might even get away with this. Until
Dun, dun.
2 years go by. And
Damn,
all these
2
guys
years.
are
Shit, they really did a great damn job. 2 years, they still didn't get caught. And with all this money, they was living a good life.
still in the clear, and they've each got a cut of their money, and none of them have been arrested. No one is really being investigated at this point because police don't have any real evidence against any of them. But then one of the goons finally screws up. Because one day he's buying some real estate to use in his money laundering scheme, and of course he's paying for it with cash. And so he's there at the real estate office or whatever, and he hands over a bunch of money to the real estate agent. Then he leaves. And so the real estate agent is counting this money, and he gets to one of the stacks of cash, and he sees that it still has the paper wrapper around the middle that says Dunbar Armored on it, which is the name of the armored depot.
Oh shit. I want to say that was a rookie mistake, but that is literally the first time. How you couldn't have see that the band, the sticker on the money. First of all, 2 years go by, you should have put some money in the bank that you can use your your credit card or something. And obviously, if you're gonna pay in cash, you should have seen the sticker, bro.
That Alan and his goons robbed. And so this real estate agent calls the police and he reports it. And so, bam, police go and they arrest the goon. Now this goon, he immediately flips on everyone.
Oh,
and
fuck.
So,
Even that.
bam, they arrest Alan. Here's his...
Bro, even that, bro. You made a mistake and then you start snitching on everybody. Bro.
mugshot. And also, they arrest the other goons. Here's a bunch of their mugshots. And Alan gets sentenced to 24 years in prison. One of the goons gets sentenced to 17 years in prison.
Ooh.
While the rest of the goons, they got between 8 and 10 years in prison.
Because they snitch. Bro, tell you the truth, in the first they did a really great job. But as you can see, one dumb mistake cost them all of those things. And then for the guy to go snitch on them, it's crazy. But hey, that shows you, no matter what, sometimes you still will get caught for something. So yeah. So yeah, this was a great video by Ray William. And if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. See you guys on the next reaction. Go.